What comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us. An infinite God can give all of himself to each of his children. He does not distribute himself that each may have a part, but to each one he gives all of himself as fully as if there were no others. The man who would truly know God must give time to him. What we think about when we are free to think about what we will, that is what we are or will soon become. We can never know who or what we are till we know at least something of what God is. True faith rests upon the character of God and asks no further proof than the moral perfections of the one who cannot lie. The yearning to know what cannot be known, to comprehend the incomprehensible, to touch and taste the unapproachable, arises from the image of God in the nature of man. Deep calleth unto deep, and though polluted and landlocked by the mighty disaster theologians call the fall, the soul senses its origin and longs to return to its source. We need never shout across the spaces to an absent God. He is nearer than our own soul, closer than our most secret thoughts. If man had his way, the plan of redemption would be an endless and bloody conflict. In reality, salvation was bought not by Jesus' fist, but by his nail-pierced hands, not by muscle but by love, not by vengeance but by forgiveness, not by force but by sacrifice. Jesus Christ our Lord surrendered in order that he might win. He destroyed his enemies by dying for them and conquered death by allowing death to conquer him. We are saved to worship God. All that Christ has done in the past and all that he is doing now leads to this one end. For myself, I long ago decided that I would rather know the truth than be happy in ignorance. If I cannot have both truth and happiness, give me truth. We'll have a long time to be happy in heaven. Trying to be happy without a sense of God's presence is like trying to have a bright day without the sun. If we cooperate with him in loving obedience, God will manifest himself to us, and that manifestation will be the difference between a nominal Christian life and a life radiant with the light of his face. It appears that too many Christians want to enjoy the thrill of feeling right but are not willing to endure the inconvenience of being right. The Bible is a supernatural book and can be understood only by supernatural aid. Every man must choose his world. Holiness, as taught in the Scriptures, is not based upon knowledge on our part. Rather, it is based upon the resurrected Christ indwelling us and changing us into his likeness. Complacency is a deadly foe of all spiritual growth. Philosophy and science have not always been friendly toward the idea of God, the reason being they are dedicated to the task of accounting for things and are impatient with anything that refuses to give an account of itself. The philosopher and the scientist will admit that there is much that they do not know, but that is quite another thing from admitting there is something which they can never know, which indeed they have no technique for discovering. Whenever you see confusion, you can be sure that something is wrong. Disorder in the world implies that something is out of place. Usually, at the heart of all disorder you will find man in rebellion against God. It began in the Garden of Eden and continues to this day. Were we able to extract from any man a complete answer to the question, what comes into your mind when you think about God, we might predict with certainty the future of that man. Faith must precede all effort to understand. Reflection upon revealed truth naturally follows the advent of faith, but faith comes first to the hearing ear, not to the cogitating mind. We wonder why we don't have faith. The answer is, faith is confidence in the character of God, and if we don't know what kind of God God is, we can't have faith. When I understand that everything happening to me is to make me more Christ-like, it resolves a great deal of anxiety.